Been a while since I've last talked to you guys in person. I've been busy doing video games. It's Weather Stormlord back along with you for the first time in ages. There's been no severe weather to speak to also, but it's severe weather season, and that's right, folks. It's time for another episode of the Tornado Drill Tour. For those of you that have not been with us long, I've been doing this since 2021. Every year, I try to record some statewide tornado drills for you guys and compile it into a playlist on YouTube. And this is my 5th year doing it. It's going to be a reduced episode this year because I don't have a lot of time on my hands. But there will be some unexpected catches. Let's start. So I'm going to explain the drills that have already happened as of March 3rd, 2025, and then go into the drills to come and the drills I will be able to catch as well as will not be able to catch. So here's what's already happened. Very, very early is Florida and Georgia. They always happen on the same day virtually. I believe they happened on February 5th. Georgia was at 9, Florida was at 10, both of which were in the form of required weekly tests, but Georgia's script is virtually the same as South Carolina's, so I don't really have qualms about missing that one. And Florida, Florida's got a really good script and all, but they don't do an ending statement, and their tornado drill lasts a little too long, in my opinion. And you don't hear it on the weather radio after they relay the weekly test, which is something that I've always had a bit of a problem with, because if it's a drill, might as well push it out to weather radio and continue showing it on the radio until it expires. That's something I've always had the issue with that particular drill. So I don't really have qualms about missing that one either. Now, here we go on to late February. I have no idea if Mississippi drilled this year or not. I don't pay that much attention. And it came to my attention last year that Alabama had a drill. I know nothing about it this year. I'm assuming it was the same time as Florida, because knowing Mobile, they probably put Florida and Alabama together. Now, last week, I believe it was February 18th, I think it was. If not, it was the 17th. Let's see. 17th or 18th, I don't know. Just go with it. No, it was the 19th. It was the 19th. Was the Tennessee severe weather preparedness drill. That was also in a weekly test. And that, I don't even know anything about Tennessee's test tornado drill at this point, so I'm just not going to worry about it unless it's actual severe weather. And as far as I know, that's all that's happened so far. But let's go into the drills that we will be able to catch. A big day drill's on Wednesday, and it's going to be a little bit less cluttered than it was last year. For those of you that watched the Wednesday episode last year when I had an e-learning day, we got about like 6 or 7 different drills. It's going to be the same thing, but one of the drills is missing. South Carolina's drill is normally the Wednesday of Severe Weather Preparedness Week at 9 a.m. Not really sure why, but it's not this year. I'll get to that in a minute. So the episode will actually kick off with the North Carolina tornado drill at 9:30 a.m. as a required monthly test. That is one of now 3 states that do it in the monthly test format, as far as I know. I will get to the other 2 in a moment. And then at 9:50 a.m., I know that I can get this now. This is 8:50 a.m. Central, by the way. The required monthly test of Wisconsin's emergency alert system occurs, and because that's being pushed to weather radio, I will be able to get that. I'll be doing it off of the Green Bay station, just like I did last year. At 10:07 a.m., assuming that we don't get overrun by severe weather and high wind, the Kentucky tornado drill, and I'm actually going to try and get that live. I'm not going to be streaming, but I'm going to try and get it on WHAS, because I got it on WHAS last year, but the audio quality was absolutely terrible, so I never posted the video. Should I actually get a good recording of it off of WHAS, I will add it into the recording I get off of both Louisville and Jackson, because last year Louisville activated first and then Jackson was a few minutes later, and I might try to get Paducah's depending on the timing of the issuance, so it's just going to have to depend. One drill I did forget to mention, Illinois is testing separate from Missouri this year. They are testing tomorrow. That's Tuesday the 4th at 10 a.m. And unfortunately, there is absolutely no way I can get it for you. So we're just going to have to forgo that drill. It's going to be a weekly test, nothing too special. I kind of still can't believe my luck last year with the Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas drills all occurring at the same time. I was somehow able to get fragments of all three. But going back to the Kentucky drill, that is actually going to be sent as a test tornado warning and actually have the live tornado warning issuant format. So it's going to be a very entertaining drill. I never get tired of seeing the test tornado warnings issued. So at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Central, there's a little bit of confusion here because last year, Houston and Corpus Christi conducted tornado drills on the same day as Kentucky. I'm assuming that's the case again this year, but I'm not entirely sure. But what I do know is Kansas's statewide tornado drill is at 10 a.m. on the 5th. And that is going to be in the form of a weekly test. Of course, there is absolutely no way I'm missing a drill that I actually know is going to be issued, so we might just have to cancel going for the Houston Corpus Christi drill because it's at exactly the same time as the Kansas drill. So I'm probably going to have to pick and choose because I do not have multiple devices that can pick up that particular website. So I'm going to have to probably go with the Kansas drill because it's easier to catch. I do not have any Corpus Christi stations on Scanner Radio, but I do believe I might. Yes, I do have a Houston station, so I could jump back and forth between them, but it's going to be a lot of difficulty. I'm going to have to be really quick. So, that being said, I'm going to try my best to get both. No promises. So, we're just going to have to see what happens with those two at the same time. And here's the outlaw here. Missouri is testing not with Kansas. I was not expecting to see that when I looked earlier today, but they're actually going to be testing at 11 a.m. Central, which is noon Eastern, which surprised me when I first saw it because you don't generally see those two tests separate. They're almost always together with their drills. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen their drills separate in the 4 years now that I've been doing this. They've always tested at the same time and in the same format. The same format things still exists, but the different timing caught me off guard. So that's basically what we're looking at for Wednesday, and I believe that is all the drills that I can tell you about. There could be an addition that I don't know about. I also have a possible drill, but the possible drills I'll talk about, but I don't have confirmation on in a little bit. So, let's go ahead a couple of days, and for those of you that are asking about West Virginia, I have no clue when it is because I have not been able to find anything. But let's go ahead to the next week, March 11th, another pretty decent drill day. I'm going to get one and miss one. Although, to be fair, I do kind of have actually, I might be able to swing and catch it, but it's going to be a long shot. But at 9:45 on Tuesday the 11th is Virginia's tornado drill. That will be in the form of a required monthly test, just like North Carolina. According to Global Weather and Emergency Alert Society, I think is their abbreviation. It's GWEZ, I think that's what it is. It's going to be very strange to catch because I'm going to be in school, so I don't think there's any way to catch it. At home, though, I can tell you of a drill we will definitely catch. Indiana, my home state, is hosting their annual statewide tornado drill on March 11th at 10:15 a.m. And I have the perfect setup for this, guys. You're not going to believe what you see. You're not going to see it, unfortunately, because, as you know, I am absolute crap with cameras. So what I'm going to do is the audio recording and screen record the audio. That way you don't have to see something unexpected or see something that I'm not accidentally aiming at. So what you're going to see or hear more like is I'm going to have my Sangean CL100 on channel 2 like it always is. I've always had it on channel 2. I've had it on channel 2 since basically the day I got it. Because I needed a better radio than my 400 on channel 2 because my 400 is broken a little bit. It still works, but its speaker I think blew out So I'm not going to use the 400. I'm also going to put my HH54 on channel 2 and put my recorder on top of my 54 because I used this setup back on May 7th briefly when I was at dinner trying to get warnings, except I had my HH on channel 7 instead of channel 2, and it actually ended up working out pretty well. You could hear Skywarn pretty well, you could hear the National Weather Service pretty well, and you could also hear channel 2 pretty well. Now, my scanner is going to be placed to the left of my weather radio to try and get any possible Skywarn traffic, because I'm not really sure if my county participates by activating a Skywarn net or not, or if the Central Indiana Skywarn net will be activated, because last year I did not try to get scanner traffic because it was still super new. This year, I'm a little bit more seasoned, so I'm going to try and see if I can get Skywarn traffic and Weather Radio audio. Weather Radio audio I will definitely have for you. Skywarn, not entirely sure. We're going to have to wait and see. And I might also make this announcement now. I am going to try and become a trained weather spotter, so I'm taking that training on the 8th this week and trying to get my ham radio license next month. So by the end of severe weather season, I will probably be a trained weather spotter, and I'll be on our Skywarn net. So I might be able to, I might live stream less often during severe weather events. I'll still try to keep you guys updated, but it's going to be harder because I'm going to actually be out doing things for my emergency management and spotting rather than in the room streaming. So I'm going to leave it up to I might still be able to pull off a stream, but I might have to have my moderators in chat regulating. And there are new chat regulations that are going into effect, but I'll get to that later. This will not be part of this video because I don't want to turn it into I don't know what word to use here because I don't know if the word I want to use is accurate, but I'm just going to move on from that. I'm assuming West Virginia's is the Wednesday after that, but again, I have no confirmation on that, so do not quote me on that. Those are the only two drills we have the week of March 11th, Indiana and Virginia. So a very useful setup looks like we got. I'm hoping it verifies, because if it doesn't, then I might be a little bit triggered. But hey, you gotta edit what you gotta edit. So if it's not perfect, then I'll change it for next year. And my current plan for next year is, if this doesn't work, I'll move the scanner probably closer to my SanGen and just leave my recorder on my SanGen and closer to my scanner, trying to get scanner and weather radio traffic, because I am determined to get scanner traffic for this, as well as weather radio traffic. And this will be sent as a test tornado warning, by the way. It will be an actual tornado warning code for all offices except ILN. Wilmington is an outlier. I have no idea why. But what is next is a strange cacophony of drills, including one unconfirmed one. What I can tell you for sure is Ohio is March 19th at 9:50 a.m. with their normal special weather required weekly test tornado warning, sort of. I've kind of seen all three. When I recorded the 2021 drill, they put out two routine weekly tests over two different stations, and then what looked like a test tornado warning, so I couldn't really tell what was going on there. I'm gonna have to I might actually try to sneak a catch of KDO 94, because there was a little bit of a weird communication between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and they ended up relaying both alerts last time. And then later that day is Michigan. That's gonna be, I'm assuming, in the form of a required weekly/monthly test, because apparently Michigan's doing these statewide monthly tests, and I'm assuming that's coinciding with a tornado drill, but again, I can't confirm that. Now, here's the drill I really don't know about. I was trying desperately to figure out if Oklahoma had a tornado drill, and I saw something that they did, but I can't confirm this by any means, because I have not seen any enthusiasts try to get it, and I have not tried to get it myself. But I may try and squeeze it this time. Apparently, there might or might not be a tornado drill on March 19th for Oklahoma at 9:50, but do not quote me on that. Do not quote me on that, because I cannot find anything on the internet about it, and I cannot find anything on the National Weather Service about it. I just saw it off of my glasses, which I have the Meta glasses now, so do not quote me on that. If I can find anything related to it, I will update via community post, but until then, we're just going to have to wait, see. It's going to be a bunch of guesswork with that one. I'm assuming it's probably not, because of the fact that there is absolutely no evidence to back it up. Then, and for those of you that want to know when the California tsunami drill is, the date for that has not yet been announced. So I'm assuming it's March 19th or March 26th. Probably the 26th. That's my guess. But again, that has not been announced. I'm assuming possibly due to the tsunami warning and wildfires that happened back in December. And I think it was January. Yeah, it was January. But I'm assuming it's probably going to be March 26th. But what happens next is we have March 26th is Iowa's tornado drill. I don't think I'm going to get it because I'm still going to be at school. Our spring break is a little bit late this year. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to catch the Iowa tornado drill. It's going to be in a form of a weekly test like it has been the last 4 years. Honestly, I kind of miss the days when it was a tornado watch warning because it was until 2019, and I don't know what happened in 2020. And then I started recording these in 2021, and they just stopped doing the watch warning format, which was kind of sad. And then I have seen 5 or 6 different things for the South Dakota Severe Weather Awareness Week. I'm not even going to call it a statewide drill because I've seen everywhere from they're going to use the tornado watch warning format statewide to they're not even going to conduct a drill at all. So I'm not even going to try to guess what's going on with them. I'm probably going to try and listen in to South Dakota a little bit just to see if anything is truly happening on the 10th, because I think that's the day that was highlighted during if they do conduct at all. And then there's a bunch of confusion on Wisconsin also. But what I can tell you is set in stone. Minnesota's tornado drills appear to be on April 10th at 1:45 p.m. and 6:45 p.m., both of which will be in the form of weekly tests. And I'm going to, for the first time, try to compile them into one video. Because normally, as you guys have seen in the past years in the Tornado Drill Tour, I have uploaded the Minnesota Tornado Drill and Wisconsin Tornado Drills separate from each other. But this year, I'm going to try to put them all in one video. Particularly, what's going to be really entertaining is if what I've seen is correct, and Wisconsin actually does have their drills on Friday, which I don't think they do. Don't quote me on anything I just said, because it's unverified. I'm assuming Minnesota and Wisconsin are still on the same day at 1:45 p.m. and 6:45 p.m. But I did see something that Wisconsin was doing theirs the day after on Friday at 1:45 and 6:45. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that one ends up playing out. And then one that I'm not sure about, I'm not really sure when the Maryland tornado drill is, but it is going to be related as a monthly test. For those of you that remembered when I recorded it in 21, it was released as a special weather statement. Probably the most boring tornado drill I've ever recorded. But I just don't expect much out of that one. It just doesn't seem like anything is going to happen out of it. So we're going to have to wait and watch. I'm going to be checking GWEZ again in a minute to see if I can find the schedule for April, because it will show the monthly test tornado drills on there. It always does. So I think that closes things out for the tornado drills. If I see any updates, I will let you know. Actually, there is one other one. The South Carolina drill that I told you about at the beginning of the video, not on Wednesday. For some reason, they have moved it to Friday, March 7th at 9 a.m. I have no clue why they did that, but it is going to be in the form of a routine weekly test like it's always, or well, not like it's always been. Up until 2022, they were doing it in the form of a test tornado warning, and then they just changed it out of nowhere, and I have no idea why. But, it was actually really cool to get the test tornado warning in 21. I wish I'd gotten a way better recording of it, but I didn't know how to screen record yet. And fortunately, I know how to do that now. So, unfortunately, they don't do a test tornado warning anymore, but we do have 2 states that do, and possibly even a third, should it actually exist. So, I think that's gonna do it for us for this update on the Tornado Drill Tour. I look forward to recording all the drills for you on Wednesday the 5th and Tuesday the 11th, and hopefully getting the Minnesota Tornado Drills, and if I am correct, the Maryland Tornado Drill as well. Thank you guys for listening to this update, and until next time, I'll be saying, as they say in amateur radio communities, 73s. See you guys later.